The world's most infamous abortion provider and advisor, Planned Parenthood, has just suffered two big blows from the Trump administration and the Ninth Circuit Court, bringing the withdrawal of what is called Title X funding. But don't try to explain that to the heads and promoters of Planned Parenthood. Instead of admitting that, indeed, getting other people's money to fund their life-ending agenda might possibly be a questionable act. The organization and its pop media fans are publicly painting Planned Parenthood as heroic. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV, and thanks to a White House proposal from last year and a March 2019 Trump administration policy change, and in fact from two recent Ninth Circuit Court rulings that have allowed the Department of Health and Human Services to implement a very big change, upwards of $60 million annual will no longer go from the taxpayers to the feds to Planned Parenthood as part of the 40-year-old Title X federal program, which spits out federal grants like PEZ to so-called family health care organizations.
Planned Parenthood may pull out of the Title X, the federal family planning program, due to a new Trump administration rule that goes into effect tonight. It separates abortion services from other health care services. The rules also prohibit Planned Parenthood and other Title X recipients from providing abortion services or even offering information about abortions.
But there are three big lessons that we can take with us from this. In fact, first, President Trump has actually delivered. Early in his presidential campaign, Trump promised to stop federal money from subsidizing the world's largest abortion provider and outsourcer. He's even prevailed in the leftist-dominated Ninth Circuit Court, which is almost shocking. Almost.
A lot of conservatives want to defund Planned Parenthood. Period. No more government money in the face of this horrendous exposition. Here it is tonight. You got to answer this yes or no. Would you vote to defund Planned Parenthood? Yes or no?
Yes.
The court merely read the Title X law as it was written, and as John McCormick notes for National Review, the 1970 Title X grant process mandates, quote, none of the funds appropriated under this title shall be used in programs where abortion is a method of family planning. And since Planned Parenthood blurs the lines between itself and the so-called outside abortionists, to which it often refers patients, we see the second big point to take away. Planned Parenthood's lame excuse that when it refers women to outside abortionists, it is merely employing free speech clearly is belied by its financial connections to abortion providers all over the map. And this is an abrogation of the Title X rules, which McCormick rightly observes, quote, in short, the gag rule isn't really a gag rule. Planned Parenthood is free under the regulation to provide abortion counseling, but it doesn't want to separate its contraceptive businesses from its abortion business, as required by the statute establishing Title X. So it's quite clear. Yet dinosaur news outlets continue to whisper in our ears that somehow Planned Parenthood is fighting for free speech, that it's a paragon of virtue, and that, once more, Donald Trump and anyone who should have the temerity to want their neighbors to be free to not fund abortions are the malefactors. Which brings us to the final point. A larger one, in fact, which seems to be lost in the fog of the abortion war and the propaganda spread by so many mostly leftist folks. Title X itself is unsupportable on a constitutional basis. There's nothing whatsoever in the U.S. Constitution that grants the Congress the power to take people's money in order to shell it out for anything social, be it the overtly unethical provision of abortion, a discussion about abortion, or even a seemingly innocuous and politically coddled federal grant to offer handouts for newborn health visits. If Congress people want to spend other people's money on handouts and programs that they think are wonderful, they have no constitutional power to do so, and they have to amend the document. In fact, it goes even further than that, deep into the psychology of real choice and economics. Even if the federal Constitution were changed to allow these sorts of handouts, they would be no more ethical than you and I and 30 friends ganging up on two defenseless people to make them comply. And now, as one part of it, the Planned Parenthood portion is defunded, and Planned Parenthood claims it is going to no longer try to get any of the Title X funds, even when it isn't connected to abortion providers and it's just talking about abortions. We can see the larger picture. It may not be as immediately ugly as the feds taking money to fund the killing of human beings, but it's important to recognize the unethical nature of it as well. In fact, this becomes recursive because as Planned Parenthood and other organizations get money from the government, we can even see that some of that money comes back to the very people who help continue the funding. So why not dismantle the whole thing? Why not eliminate all these ethical problems and see that at least abiding by the Constitution is a great way to disconnect people from things that they really don't want to support. That's all we can hope for. We can only hope for the complete dismantling of things like Title X, and that we can remember that it's not just the Planned Parenthood portion of it that we ought to look at. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, hit the little bell, and visit the website, MRCTV.org, because we're always offering new information there. For MRC-TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.